Okay, so let's talk about reach your goals. You have had such a up, down, yo-yo, things come into your life so far, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
and you allowed them to get in the way of your goals because you weren't number one, everybody else was number one. And
Right.
as you move forward to reach your goals, you know, tell us what the difference is in moving forward.
I think I just cut the strings away from everybody having a say in my life. That's big for me. Being consistent was really my last year goal, was being consistent. And that's when I hired my trainers, that I said, you know what, I need to be accountable to me. And it's totally fucking worth the money that I needed to do, even if it was once a week. And by the way, I love that video of that guy talking about cooking at home more. That's so cool. I was like, that's amazing. That's true, but nobody cooks home anymore. It's like every time I talk to somebody, they're eating out.
Oh, girl, yeah. And your cookbook is really good at pointing out why that's not cool.
Exactly, exactly. We can't even eat out anymore. My husband always tells me, my God, it was so salty. Oh, I could taste
Oh, I
something.
know.
The
That's
oil
how
is so
I am.
bad. Yeah.
All right, let's go to stay positive. So, what are some of the ways that you stay positive? What are some of the ways that you use with your clients to help them stay positive?
Well, I have to be like very aware. Awareness is huge. Like when I have that little voice that talks negative, I literally have to say, wait a minute, stop. And then I have to turn it all around and say, can you change that whole thing that you just thought and make it a positive, please? And I literally, it's like a little process that goes on in my brain only. Nobody else knows about it. But I do catch myself thinking things that are coming in negatively. And then I kind of change the syntax around and make it a more positive sentence. And it's not perfect. I'm still working on that because every so often I catch myself, and my editor always catches me.
Imagine that. That's a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good. Yeah, and the wording, like, oh, I have to do this. Like, no, you get to. It's a privilege to be alive, right?
Right, exactly.
Chose to stay alive, therefore you get to do this. And it's not I have to, because it's about choosing outcomes.
That's a really hard thing to do, to stay balanced and in all areas, especially you're just living life and you want to just enjoy every moment, right? So sometimes when you put a little more focus on the diet, the exercise goes. Or if you put a little more time on, because you're prepping and you're doing and you're thinking what you're going to make for the week, and you have to go shopping. I mean, it's a lot of involved, things that you have to do with that. So sometimes you may just go off. Don't punish yourself. That's a big deal, because I remember, like, if my diet was really doing well, I'd be like so fucking excited. But then I'm like, shit, you only got to the gym like 2 times or 1 time this week, you
Yeah.
know? But it's just, don't punish yourself. Just make sure that the next day when you catch yourself, and don't leave it long, like long periods of time, like check in with yourself every day. Say, did whatever I want to be done this morning, my intentions, were they completed and taken care of? Because if you didn't, then you need to tweak it for tomorrow. Don't let it go like 2 weeks and, oh shit, I didn't go to the gym for 2 weeks because I needed to take care of all these other things. Fucking housework's always going to be there. But you need to be there first.
Yeah, and that goes back to being grounded and mindful, because if you go into a hyper focus like you did when your sister had her stroke,
Right.
like nothing else happened, right?
Right.
So mindfulness on that, find your balance, is really all about that lack of words right now, primary foods idea chart that you've got
Right. Right.
in your MMC. Yeah, good. Anything else if there's only one more thing here?
you know Not just love yourself, but love the people who are actually loving you, and supporting you along the way. Because sometimes we don't realize, especially when we get so focused on taking care of ourselves, that we kind of forget that there's a background around you that's actually trying to keep you afloat, and if it wasn't for them picking up some of that slack, you wouldn't be able to go where you need to go or do what you need to do. So I think that's a big important thing too, you know, and
Yep.
I sometimes I'm having an issue with that with my husband, and I try to give him, you know, that extra support, and he doesn't, when especially I'm always talking to you or somebody, he's always like, you know, you didn't even look at me. I'm like, honey, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking busy. But I'm trying to get unbusy to make some time for him, but it doesn't work for his schedule. So.
And he's used to you falling apart, and you're falling apart less, so you're kind of like needing him less. And if you do fall apart, you're falling apart with me, and I get you back on track. So
you know, it's true, but he's like, I think you're right. You're right in some things, but you know what I'm actually noticing is that I think I'm giving him more attention in other things, and he's liking it, but he's not getting enough of it. He needs just a little more. And so I'm trying to make sure I get that balance with my husband and my family, and my son's feeling the same way, because lately I haven't been doing our little private times and stuff. So he's been like missing it. And I could tell last night he was really agitated. I was like, you know what?
Yep, it's an act, a balancing act.
It is. It is.
This plate, and then you spin this plate, and you spin this plate, and just as you start to spin this plate, this one starts to wobble. So it's back over here to go like this, back over here to go like this.
It's true, exactly.